Hello guys!
Welcome again to the Full Sense Tube. Are you thinking of getting married? Well, no pressure. But today we'll be discussing some of the things you should look out for in a potential partner before you say I do.
Stay tuned.
So what were we discussing the last time?
So, the previous video we did about singleness and how you should find fulfillment in your singleness and not allow your status to more or less deter you from living a full life.
Right.
Today we are looking at moving beyond that stage and you are looking at actually getting into marriage. Now, a lot of times people have their ideal qualities or some of the characteristics that they would have in an ideal partner.
Right.
But I think, and this is something that I learned back, that the most important thing when you are considering this is to think about yourself or to look inward.
Okay, so you mean like when you're considering marriage, the most important thing is to look at yourself.
Yes.
Not at the person you're going to marry.
Yes, because everybody has an ideal image and a checklist of the qualities that they want to see in a person.
Of course, I had a checklist.
Yes, and I also had things that I was looking at, but one important thing that I got to become aware of is look at yourself first.
Okay.
Because it begins with you. You want specific qualities in a person. Do you have those qualities?
And this thing cracks me up. Like, I think always you see people say, I want somebody who has a really nice job. I want somebody who's riding a Mercedes Benz. And I keep asking,
They want a tall person.
Like, I want a tall person. Are you tall? Like, do you have a Mercedes Benz yourself?
Yes.
Okay, you want somebody who's working with this or that or that. Where are you at? And you realize that some of these people do not even have some of these things that they are looking for in their future spouses.
Yes.
And it's kind of funny. I feel like you should work on yourself so that if I want somebody who has a really good job, well, I should also have a good job.
You should be gainfully employed.
I should be gainfully employed. If I want somebody who is whatever, who has a Benz, I should have one. Because then it's like you have higher expectations of your future partner, but then you don't even have those things that you are looking for in someone. I think that's pretty selfish.
Yes, and
I don't know, right?
because take it like this. You are two people who are going to come together into a marriage. And it's like ingredients to cooking a good meal.
Right.
If you are putting very good ingredients and you have some rotten eggs that you are putting in, it's going to spoil everything.
It's going to spoil everything.
So a good marriage comes out of two good people coming together. So I believe that people should really focus on becoming the right person for someone.
I love that.
Because you want these characteristics in a certain kind of person.
Yeah.
That person that you are thinking of, do you think they will like you? Do you think they will be attracted to you? Do you think you will also be meeting that person's qualities?
Yeah, do you have the characteristics they're also praying for?
Exactly.
If you really want to be saved, start praying to God to have those characteristics that somebody may want, right?
Exactly.
Or somebody may need, rather than focus on someone and keep saying, I want a tall person, I want a tall person. Kweku is about 6.2 or 3.
3?
Yes, Kweku is 6'3". Okay, ask him if his height is giving me money in this house. Please, is your height giving me money in this house? Like, really, how is your height helping me?
In photographs?
Like, in photos, like, really? You think so? You think so? Well, that you leave the audience to determine if it's like, it's looking nice in photos or what. But the point I'm making is, his height is not giving me money, okay? Actually, I'm looking for a Benz, but his height hasn't even bought me one. Okay, so the point here is, if I were focusing on his height, then now I may be disappointed because it's not even giving me money.
Yeah.
Of course, yes, it's nice and all that, but don't focus on height. Don't focus on height, on physical features, because even the Bible says it fades, right? What's the word? It passes away. Like beauty passes away. Today somebody will be told, do you know the amount of work Kuku has to do? Because he's told he needs to exercise to make sure that he's not like kind of bending and things like that. So he has his own struggles, correct? He's got his own struggles. So don't look at physical. Just don't focus on physical. I think you have to look more at someone who is God-fearing.
Yeah.
And when I talk about like God-fearing, I'm not talking about church goer.
There are many of them.
Yeah, I'm not talking about being a churchgoer or being a tongues-speaking Christian. And this reminds me of my time in University of Ghana. I remember those times, all of us, like the single ladies, who were kind of looking out for guys who were speaking in tongues and things like that. We were prayerful. I remember the Sabbath field. Like some women would even go there and be looking at, wow, when they raised this prayer topic, the way the guy was praying. But honestly, me, because by God's grace, I grew up in a prayer family, and my mom would take us to church, and my mom herself is a prayer warrior, and I believe that I am also like someone who loves to pray. I wasn't moved by guys who were praying in tongues, because by God's grace, I can also pray in tongues. Yeah. I was looking more at the character, the attitude. Because to me, attitude is key. Now you see so many people who like speak in tongues and go to church and do all that, but their character, my goodness. So if you are looking, please pray to God about character. Let God show you the person's character. Let God show you the person's attitude, because it is number one. It is number one. Because trust me, in your house, you won't be speaking in tongues 24 hours a day. Okay, in your house, you won't be speaking in tongues 24 hours a day. Yeah. In your house, you won't be doing what? You won't be like every day preaching and things like that.
You are going to be living with the person.
You're going to be living with the person.
You are going to encounter the real person.
I am telling you.
So who the real person is. You know, someone define character as who you are when no one is looking.
Exactly.
And that is the real you.
Yeah.
You need to find out what is the real you of this person. Who is this person really?
Who is this person really? And babe, I'm reminded of what you shared when I was talking about Legon and people speaking in tongues. You were asking me, but in this era, do people focus on people?
Yeah, do ladies even focus on that? They look at other things.
They are looking at
external things, the kind of car the person drives. The financial status of the person.
Of course.
You're looking at the kind of family and background that they come from. The kind of name that they have. What is their surname?
Well, and I just want to bring it in here that all of that is important.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be like a deal breaker. Okay, so if you want to say the person has to be from a renowned home and it's a deal breaker, then are you also from a renowned home?
Exactly.
Well, if you are from a renowned home, then it's fine. It can be your deal breaker, okay?
Yeah.
But even in that context, I think it's not something that should be your deal breaker. Your deal breaker should focus more on like attitude, and there's some things that
are inside.
Things that are inside that will come out, because those are the things that will come out. Okay, be sure that when somebody is telling you I'm born again, it's not just like speaking in tongues. Be sure that the Holy Spirit has really made them born again. Transform their character and their mind.
Exactly.
Their mindset. Mindset. Some guys are so traditional.
Please define traditional.
Like some guys are so traditional. Like the woman has to do like maybe everything in the house, and like every day is yes boss and that kind of thing. That the mindset. It's only God who can change some of these mindsets.
Yeah, but you know that in our African and Ghanaian context, that is what is culturally deemed as acceptable, and that is how a lot of us have been brought up to view the institution of marriage as
like the woman is,
the woman being the homemaker and taking care of the home, the man being the breadwinner. He brings money home, so he shouldn't be found doing any kind of work at home and all of that. But I think that these are attitudes, or these are paradigms and mindsets we are evolving from, and the modern day is changing all these kind of traditional roles. So it's important. These are some of the things that you need to know about the person before you get into any marriage relationship with them. Yeah,
you're saying we are evolving out of it, but some people are still entrenched in it. It will surprise you.
Oh yes,
it will surprise you. Even like believers, like they're so entrenched in it, and so many people are still suffering from some of these repercussions and things like that. Yeah, so it's God is the one who can actually change our mindsets. That's what I think. So you have to look out for things like that.
Okay. And then also a very important point that you brought up earlier about how you should be looking for someone who has an ambition. Or someone who has vision.
Yeah.
You want to explain more about that?
So of course you are going somewhere in life, right? God has given all of us like our own destinies. And me, when I was praying about who to marry, I think the first time I dreamt about you, God showed me your future.
Okay.
Yeah, because like I needed I don't think that's for the viewers, but God showed me your future. So the way that I looked at you and what I was seeing like in 5 years, I was seeing like things like that. And I saw you to be someone who has a vision, like someone who has foresight.
Vision
and
2020.
like someone who can lead, right? Because I'm naturally a strong character, and if you leave everything to me, I would be like, let's go here, let's go that. Yeah, but I saw that even though Kweku is calm, he's kind of like strong in that calmness. He can say no, and it's no. Right? And he's really objective about things. So that was like something I really loved.
Yeah, and in line with that, it's also important to be able to see potential in people and not to just evaluate people based on their current state. Because you see someone today, you see a young brother, a young sister, they might not look all that.
Right.
But if you have the ability to discern, you can see that this person, and the trajectory that they are currently going on, it's likely they are going to end up somewhere good or somewhere better than their current state today. So do not just be interested in looking at the here and the now. Things change, life changes, circumstances change. You never know a door that could be opening for someone that will take them to their next level. And so it is very important that you do not judge people or condemn people based on their current state, but have that vision and that insight. Let God reveal to you where He's taking them.
And I really love this point about not looking down on people, because like I take it really personal, because I share with a lot of my close friends that if someone were to know me maybe how many years?
Maybe like 7-8 years ago.
Like 7-8 years ago, like you won't want to marry me. Like you won't want to date me. Like it seemed like there was no hope in me. But I knew that God was taking me somewhere. Even me, myself, I wasn't sure of what God was doing with me.
Okay.
And so if you focused on the Asantwa 7 years ago or whatever year, 7 years ago, right? It's accurate. 7-8 years ago, you wouldn't want to marry me. But here we are. Yeah. And I remember when, by God's grace, I finished my degree. Even before I finished my degree, that God started opening different doors for me, and I started having so many suitors. Oh my goodness! Like I have people. My PhD. I started having so many suitors, and even before the PhD, God opened doors for me. I started traveling here and there, being in fellowships and stuff like that, and talking at programs and seminars. I started having like suitors, and I remember I would go home and tell my siblings that, wow, somebody wants to marry me, and my mom would say, who is the person? I say, well, the person is a medical doctor. And I was like, wow. And sometimes I'll just reflecting on my life, and I'll be like 7 years ago, 8 years ago, which medical doctor would have wanted to date me, right? So that is to add to Kweku's point, to say that don't look at the now, look at the future, and that's why it's important for you to pray that God will show you the person's future. Yes. I mean, we all risk, but we want something like some little stone to stand on. Yeah. So pray, be prayerful, and pray that God will show you the future, because at the end of the day, it's still a risk. Yeah, but then you pray that God will show you the person's future. You don't want to marry some lazy guy somewhere, or some lazy lady somewhere who doesn't want to do anything.
No vision.
No drive. No ambition. Even if you say, let's go do like let's just go do the simplest of things. They don't want to do it. Even let's go to the gym. They don't want to go. Like not necessarily, but let's go anywhere. They don't want to go. Let's do this. Let's write this book. They don't want to do it because they are so lazy. And laid back. You don't want that. You want somebody with a drive, like somebody who has foresight, somebody with a vision.
And another important thing to consider is that a lot of people mistakenly believe that when they marry someone, the person is going to change.
Yeah, I think you brought this up in the last video even.
Look, people do not change when they get married. And the thing about marriage is that marriage is actually going to amplify and bring to the fore the character that the person has. So if you are seeing something that you don't like in the person, do not make the mistake of saying that, oh, when I marry them, they will change, because
No.
it is not likely.
No,
that
they won't change.
They will change.
The Holy Spirit is the only one who can change someone.
Yes.
And trust me, you don't want to marry and now be praying day and night about someone's character. Me, I told God, like, I already have a harsh background. I'm already coming from, like, where I'm coming from, it's only God who brought me here. Trust me, guys. And I told God, I don't want someone who will give me that burden, and every time I have to be praying about the person's character and attitude, God, please change. God, please, no. I can't make that my prayer request. I mean, there are more important things to pray about, guys. There are serious things to pray about. People are like so many things to pray about. I don't want to give you my prayer topics now, but there's so many destiny changing prayers. Not today and this and tomorrow that and change my husband. Is that what you want to be doing? If you want to be doing that, fine. But people don't change in marriage. As Kweku said, people don't change. So the red flags you see, please let it be a red flag to you.
Yeah.
And don't go ahead because you think you are growing. Please, a red flag is a red flag.
The red flag you see today will be the same red flag you see tomorrow.
And that may be God's way of telling you that, you know what, my daughter, you know what, my son, this is not the person for you. So many people ignore red flags.
Yeah.
And they come back asking God, this. And I mean, if let's say that you've been married for 70 years, you spend about 69 years praying for your husband to change. I mean, come on.
Who wants to do that?
Who has that time?
Yeah.
When destiny is calling.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah, so please, guys.
Okay.
What else did you want to add?
Another very important thing when you are considering a partner for marriage is looking out for selflessness, because there are so many people who are selfish and are just thinking about themselves.
That's really important.
They are interested in what they can benefit for themselves, what is in it for me. They are just interested in coming in to take and to enjoy and to benefit, but then they are not thinking about the other person.
Right.
And how can I contribute to make the other person a better person? They are not interested in growth, in helping you to grow and develop and become a better person of yourself.
Yeah.
And there are so many signs which can indicate to you that this is actually a very selfish or a very selfless kind of person that you need to be very careful of.
And the red flags. I'm sure you in your day-to-day activity, like dating someone, you will know if they are selfish.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the red flags. And talking about being selfless, I think one of the things that really attracted me to Kweku is his selflessness. Because most of the opportunities that I've applied for and things like that, he will be the one to even send them to me. I'm like, wow, it seemed like he's on top of whatever I'm doing. Like, he knows my work, he knows what I'm doing. He's always looking out for me, looking out for people in my circles, even my friends. You see, like, even my friend's burden becomes his burden. And I think that's being like a Christ-like husband, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what Christ taught husbands to be like. Not to always sleep and they'll come and serve you food and all those things that people dwell on.
Actually, I have a video that's going to be dedicated just to that, the Christian husband.
The Christian husband, yeah, we're going to do a video on the Christian husband.
And the Christian wife too.
And the Christian wife too, so being selfless. And I wanted to also say something about, especially to the guys, not being intimidated if when you by God's grace your wife is growing and doing very well and like in the limelight, don't be intimidated or don't feel insecure or anything like that. And it comes down to the attitude also of the wife, of the lady. If the lady has like a humble spirit, a good character, and really the lady is born again and the Holy Spirit lives in the lady, I do not see why they should be pompous or proud or anything or disrespect their husbands at home because God has opened one door for them and they're kind of like in the limelight and all. So it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
And vice versa. When the guy is also excelling and things like that, the lady should not be kind of like intimidated and feeling down. Everyone should celebrate everyone.
Exactly.
Everyone should be genuinely happy for everyone, and everyone should be genuinely looking out for the interest of everyone. And some of these attitude characters outside the marriage context, they are helpful. Or even in our relationship with our friends, you know, you are not envious of your friend. It's the same thing. If you're envious of your friend, you are easily envious of your husband, or you're easily envious of your wife. If you're not genuinely thinking about your friend and wishing them well, you bring the same thing into your marriage. So maybe what people can actually do is to look at the way the way people relate with them as friends.
Okay.
I think that's the point I want to make, and it can help you in determining how they would be like in a marriage.
Oh yes, because
in a marriage context.
Definitely before marriage, it is even advisable that you are friends with a person before you start even thinking about taking the friendship to the next level to get into marriage. There should be friendship there, and looking at how the person relates with you as a friend. The kind of friend that they are to you is likely going to be the same way that they are going to relate to you as a spouse, as a husband, or as a wife.
Yeah, and that's what you said. People don't change.
Yeah, it's the same person who is a friend who's going to be the same person as a husband or a wife.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. It's back to that point. People don't change. It's only the Holy Spirit who can change someone. And I cannot overemphasize it.
Yeah.
That if you want to dedicate 70, 69 years of your marriage praying for your wife to change or praying for your husband to change, I wish you the best.
All the best.
I really wish you the best, but personally, there are weightier matters to pray about.
He said that marriage is to be enjoyed, not endured.
Yeah.
So a word to the wise.
It's enough.
It's enough.
It is enough.
Definitely. Yeah, so I guess that's basically it for our conversation. These were some of the things we just wanted to discuss and share with you, so that if you are in that space where you are looking to get married, these are some of the important things that you need to be looking out for. And for me, the most important thing is it begins with you. It doesn't begin with the other person. It always begins in working on yourself, transforming yourself, evaluating your life to look at the areas in which you need to work on, and
be the change you want to see in other people. Be the change you want to see in other people. Marrying someone from a wealthy home is nice.
It's good.
When God brings it your way. Woo-hoo! To those of you who are really interested in marrying a tall guy, when God brings a tall guy to you, woo-hoo! To those of you who are interested in marrying somebody who has, is working in some United Nations
or World Bank.
Woohoo, of course, why wouldn't we? It's all a blessing. Yeah. It's a blessing from God. But don't make these things deal breakers. Yeah. Make the character, like the attitude, a deal breaker. Because the attitude and the character is what you see in the marriage, really, on a day-to-day basis, on a constant basis. That's what you see. So let's all aim for all these nice things, and someone at the Benz. If you want someone at the Benz, make sure you're driving one. Make sure you're driving one, so that your expectations of people are not over the bar. That's what some people even do, even in friendship. Their expectations of their friends are like over the bar, so unrealistic. And that's what they bring into the marriage. Guys, if you want to be practical, this thing, you have to think twice. Yeah.
Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. If you have any questions, also feel free to drop it down in the comments. And lastly, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Like this video. Share it with your friends. And join us for the next episode on the Folson's Tube. Bye.
Bye.